This is your Barbados Today evening news update for Tuesday, May the 29th. So glad you could join us. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Top in the news, police are investigating the unnatural death of 60-year-old Trevor Marshall of First Avenue, Jackson, St. Michael. Now, Marshall's decomposed body was found in a track opposite the Frederick Smith Secondary School at Trent St. James around 9 o'clock this morning. According to police, a man who was searching the area collecting bottles discovered the body under a canopy of trees. Lawmen said Marshall habitually roams and sleeps on the streets. They are asking anyone with information that can assist with the investigations to contact the Whole Town Police Station at 419-1700 or any other police station. In other news this Tuesday, confidence is slowly returning to the Barbados economy, and this is likely to lead to a spike in investment over the next 3 to 6 months. Word of this from President of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Eddie Abed. During the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between the BCCI and the Barbados Investment and Development Corporation today, Abed said the uncertainty created by the long wait for the May 24th general election was now out of the way, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Sadly, as the information comes out, we're hearing how much worse the economy position is rather than what we had felt. And with that comes a very sobering thought that we need to do the necessary and do it quickly. So from that point of view, I think people are a little resistant. They would like to get a greater sense of the short-term measures that will be implemented. And of course, there will be medium and long-term measures as well. And that causes a bit of hesitance. However, I will tell you that I've been informed by many of our members that some of the plans that they've had on hold for at least the last 6 months, they're perhaps moving forward on them, and that is an exceptionally good sign. I've not heard positive news like that in a very long time. So I fully expect, not necessarily within a day or a week, but within 3 to 6 months, I think that you'll see activity. I'm absolutely certain that we'll see activity.
Abed is hopeful that Prime Minister Mia Mottley will stick to her promise to repeal the dreaded National Social Responsibility Levy. He is, however, warning consumers not to expect any noticeable decrease in prices immediately. Abed said the private sector and trade unions have been tasked with finding ways to cushion the shortfall when the tax is removed.
We fully expect that the NSRL will be repealed. We also expect that that shortcoming of $141 million will have to be made up somehow. So we've been asked, as part of the private sector associations and the trade unions, to give suggestions as to how the shortfall in revenue will be made up. So I wouldn't want to speak to that at this point in time, but I assure you it will be made up. Equally, depending on the type of business that our members in, the turn in inventory may be as little as 3 to 4 weeks, or it could be as much as 4 to 5 months. And therein lies the problem, because although the NSRL may be repealed today, the prices, the adjustment in prices will only occur when the inventory is replaced.
The Democratic Labour Party should accept Prime Minister Mia Mottley's offer to take up 2 seats in the new Senate. That's the view of party advisor Hamilton Lashley and unsuccessful St. Michael South East candidate Rodney Grant. Yesterday, DLP campaign manager Robert Bobby Morris snubbed the idea, saying his party would prefer to earn its place in Parliament. But speaking at a news conference today, Lashley insisted if the DLP refused, it would amount to a dereliction of duty, even as he suggested that Grant and Henderson Williams, that's the party's candidate for Bridgetown, should get the pick.
Of course, if it comes down that a number of the older members, who some of them have already resigned their official positions, it gives us then a new, at least it is a way forward, a pathway forward into the future. But you know, it's beat up on the old age that who believe that they're, and I agree like the most of them do, but who believe that they have a God-given right, that they make the final decision, and their decision is final. The Democratic Party is one of the most dynamic institutions in the Caribbean. And of course, if we're going to maintain that image and the work that the ancestors of the Democratic Labour Party did, then there's a wonderful opportunity to capitalize. I see it as a blessing in disguise, the cleansing that I'm talking about, to move forward, you know what I mean? Seriously.
Grant suggested the DLP should put country first and accept the offer.
I think, straight to Hammy's point, you see this defeat almost puts the Democratic Labour Party on the same platform as the UPP, BIM, and some of the other parties, almost. The thing that defines the Democratic Labour Party is its history. In order to set itself apart from the other parties going forward, it has to build on that strong, dynamic history. And you see, you have to go back to your roots, that roots of democracy and social democratism. It has to, people-centered development, people-centered strategy, it has to go back to that root. But not stay there, build on it. It has to go back there, use that for inspiration, give yourself strength and courage from that, and then build out going forward.
The new Minister of the Environment and National Beautification, Trevor Prescott, says government is moving swiftly to address the issue of garbage collection. This afternoon, Prescott met with officials from the Sanitation Service Authority, including Acting General Manager Rosalind Knight and Acting Deputy Manager of Operations Sean Phillips. Minister Prescott received an update on the issues related to garbage collection and disposal. They also discussed plans to buy new trucks for the SSA. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of the Environment and National Beautification, Daphne Kelman, and other ministry officials also attended the meeting. In sports now, Digicel is ending its sponsorship deal with Cricket West Indies 1 year early. In a statement, the company's group financial officer Raymond Leclerc expressed thanks to Cricket West Indies for 13 years of partnership and for the opportunity and privilege of helping to bring the fun, thrill, and excitement of the game of cricket to a wider audience. At the same time, Dominique Warren, Director of Commercial Marketing and Communications for Cricket West Indies, thanked Digicel for its support and says Cricket West Indies was now primed to take on a number of new initiatives as part of a recently announced strategic plan to make cricket the heartbeat of the Caribbean. He said they were likely to make an announcement on a new long-term principal partnership soon. In 2015, the West Indies Cricket Board had renewed its agreement with Digicel for 4 years to 2019. Along with the men's team, Digicel sponsored the women's and under-19 teams.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now in Trinidad and Tobago. The Attorney General says the government's legislative war on corruption is about to go into hyperdrive right now, with bills dealing with wealth and seizing of assets set to go before the Parliament soon. But the opposition leader says the government is way behind on the issue and is failing to follow the money where it should. Joel Brown of TV6 News tells us more.
The AG said the anti-corruption legislative package has already started in the Parliament.
You've seen that we've dealt with land in the House of Representatives, miscellaneous provisions to amend COCA, the Proceeds of Crime Act, to treat with money laundering, etc. But the big cornerstones are about to come to Parliament: civil asset forfeiture, which is the Explain Your Wealth legislation, how we manage our laws of trusts, unmasking beneficial ownership. Those big items have just been completed in terms of national consultation, and therefore we are now ready to hit the Parliament on those matters.
He expects the population to be very interested in this.
I personally am extremely confident that this is what has been missing in Trinidad and Tobago's landscape to treat with not only corruption, but crime and criminality.
When TV6 News spoke with the opposition leader on the matter on Sunday, we sought her assessment of the government's anti-corruption drive.
I've said the Honourable Attorney General is a very loquacious Attorney General. There is far more talk and far less action. We've been hearing of follow the money, follow the money, follow the money, I think from day one. And we are yet to see the legislation in the Parliament and or implement.
On the international front, a nationwide truckers' strike in Brazil over soaring fuel prices that has crippled the economy has entered a 9th day. Brazil's government said it reached an agreement with the main truck drivers' union late Sunday, but a significant number of drivers continue to protest early on Tuesday. Brazilian President Michel Temer caved in to the truckers' main demand and agreed to cut the diesel price by 10% for 60 days. More in this report from Al Jazeera Television.
And these truck drivers, tens of thousands of them, either haven't received the message or don't plan to heed it.
We are not only here for the truck drivers, but for all Brazilians who are suffering with the rises in electricity, water, gas, everything. Brazilians have to work just to survive. We are not members of any political party. We are the people who are suffering the most.
They're saying the rise in the price of diesel makes it hard for them to earn a living, and Temper's afraid.
This used to be a strike. Now it's more than a strike. Brazil has realized that we can't keep going with these politicians who over the years we've seen involved in corruption, bribery and scandals.
The government has offered a 10% reduction, but can hardly afford the more than $1.25 billion it will have to pay the state oil company Petrobras in compensation.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and the gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic evening.